What's going on, guys? My name is Gian Gomez, sales trainer and sales coach for the Elliott Group. And in this video, I'm going to teach you the three main most important areas of focus as a salesperson. So that way you can know where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are, what you need to improve on to 10x your income in whatever sales industry you're in. With that being said, if you like this type of content, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, make sure to drop a comment so you get more videos just like this, educating yourself so you can make more money. Let's get into the video. Bam! Let's rock and roll, baby. Let's get crazy. Let's get cooking. All right, so what are the top three areas to focus on when you are selling? What should you be developing as a salesperson to continuously get better, improve, educate yourself so you could 10x your income? I mean, I've seen people that are good at one but not good at the others, and by getting better at the other two categories, dude, they've gone from making 30 grand a year to making 300 grand a year, from making 50 grand a year to making 500 grand a year. I mean, let me ask you, what would you do if you went from making $5,000 a month to $50,000 a month? What type of life would you live? I mean, what would you do with yourself? So don't get too angsty on me. I'm gonna teach you exactly what you need to know, how to improve and how to develop. Okay, so when I laid this out into three sections, I want you to understand that some people are naturally better than other people at these things. You're born with it kind of like a persona, but an understanding of how to do these instinctively. So if you stay till the end of the video, I'm gonna teach you which one's the most important. I'm gonna kind of help you understand where you're at, and I'm gonna teach you, I'm gonna help you understand what you can do if you want to improve at any one of these areas. So starting at number one, we got the prospector. Man, the main goal of this guy is to generate leads, nothing less and nothing more. Whether you're networking, you're out at the club, you're out at the local bike shop, you're golfing, you're shaking hands, you're able to generate leads, you're able to build a network, and you're able to prospect. A lot of people look at this because they're handed leads by their company, but let me tell you, when you're able to add value within your organization, or if you're a business owner, when you have someone that, number one, doesn't take the leads that you give them for granted because they know how hard it is to make leads, because they're a prospector, they're great with people, they're charismatic, they have phenomenal attitudes, they're always happy, they're always on the ball. Like, this is the type of guy that you meet, and he's always giggity, you know, he's always happy, he's always having a good time. He networks consistently, whether he's at church, at the bar, he's always telling people what he does. He's networking, knowing big players, knowing people within the other industries that could help him, constantly adapting and knowing networking environments to get better at, builds a brand. So, you know, take this 20 years back, these two wouldn't be relevant, but in today's day and age, man, this guy knows how to build a brand of what he does, so that way it's 10 times easier to network when you're dealing with future clients, right? There's a difference between shaking a hand, being a charismatic, good-looking, great guy, but then them not remembering you. You give them a business card, hopefully they remember it. Let me tell you, 95% of business cards are lost within the first day, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's more important, and it's as a new prospector in today's day and era, in today's day and age, is that when you shake someone's hand, when you meet them, you want to make sure that they follow you on social media platforms where you're consistently hitting them with the message of what you do, and before you know it, by the time that it comes to, you know, they're like, hey, look, I'm looking for a car. Hey, look, I'm looking for some sales training. Hey, look this. Hey, look that. Hey, look, you know, I want to buy some insurance. Dude, you're the guy, okay? Uses social media. It kind of goes hand in hand with build a brand, but a prospector in today's day and age, man, I mean, whether you're good at networking or you're good with people, man, these people know how to generate leads. These guys know how to buy leads for cents on the dollars to use for their industry, right? So maybe you're not born charismatic, but you know how to use Facebook to generate you some leads. Prospector is usually the person that can interest people in what they're doing as well. Okay, generates interest in what they're doing. And lastly, he's one charismatic guy, because whether you're buying leads, whether you're going to the local, you know, going to the local golf club, you know, church meeting, you got to be charismatic. You got to have that kind of that gift of gab. And I'll teach you at the end, if you're not naturally born with it, how you could get it. I mean, I was born an introvert. I mean, I was scared to talk to people, didn't want to go to clubs, didn't want to go hang out. But before you know it, I got charismatic, and that's how I started prospecting, networking, and meeting thousands of people around the country that could potentially help me at any given point in time, or that I could use them towards what I'm doing, right? So number 2, right? What's the second area to focus on? The second type of salesperson, that's going to be a salesman. And that's going to be a closer, right? This guy closes deals. That's his only purpose. Prospector gets him in, closer closes them down. You got the systems, you got the strategies, you got the tools and tactics to know when to close someone, how to close someone, what are the most frequently asked questions, what are the most frequent objections, how do you overcome them, right? Knows how to handle objections. You get an objection, hey, look, I need to wait. Hey, look, I need to think about it. Hey, look, come back to me in 3 months. Hey, look, the price is too high. Hey, look, the term's too long. Hey, look, I don't want to sign a contract. You know what are the frequently asked questions. You address them before. You know what are the frequently asked objections. You handle them before, okay? He knows how to handle objections, knows the sales process. Look, the difference between the men and the boys within closers and within salespeople is that they have a sales process dialed in that they can consistently practice, follow, and implement in every single sale, so that way they're consistently getting better, right? You meet a customer, you shake their hand, you don't know the questions to ask, you realize it's a problem in the fact finding. You figure out what questions you need to ask every single customer to in order to have a better experience with the customer and get all the information that you need to to have a great presentation, but also to close them down, right? My thing about being a salesman and closer is that it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to understand each step of the sale. And by the way, if you haven't already, I have a YouTube video out called The Perfect Sales Process, Mastering and Understanding the Sales Process. Go follow it. If you don't know your sales process, I made a very in-depth, great video for you to have an understanding of how to do it, okay? Can close. This guy can close. The closer, the prospector gets him into the door, he gets him on the phone, gets him on a demo, gets him on a live chat. You shake their hand, you turn on the Zoom meeting, you pick up the phone, and you can secure a contract, you can secure a deal, you can lock it in place. He can close. So that's the salesman or the closer, that's the prospector, and the nurturer. He deepens relationships, right? So it kind of all follows a process, right? Prospector gets them into the door, salesman / closer closes the deal, nurturer nurtures the relationship, so he's a long-term client, but he's also offering referrals. If you've seen my channel for any time at all, what I always preach about, and one of my steps in the sales process, is that you need to have a relationship with your customers so that way you can consistently ask for referrals. At least in the core business, 95% of salespeople never reach out to a customer after being sold. So if you're that 5% that consistently is asking for referrals, nurturing customers, you're going to separate yourself in the marketplace and completely change the person that you are and the person that people perceive you to be in the marketplace, okay? So nurturer could deepen relationships, can ask for referrals. A lot of times I see a salesperson, like I was saying, shake someone's hand, make $1,000 deal, but that's offense, right? You got the customer, you played it, now you got to play defense, right? You're backing up, you sold the customer, you got to play some defense, and that's where you ask for referrals, because I'll tell you this, one referral is equal to 11 cold calls, right? So instead of playing offense all the time, make sure to play some defense, grab some referrals, nurture some customers. Right? And what is this person? This guy has to be disciplined. Look, 90% of salespeople don't follow up with their customers, man. You don't pick up the phone. Within the car industry specifically, 40% of people make a one-time call. 30% of people, make a two-time call. Nobody follows up after the third time, and the other 30% never follow up in the first place. So if you can make 3 calls, and that's called being disciplined, right? How do you know when to call a person in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? Being disciplined, putting it into your CRM, and picking up the phone and making that call when the time comes, right? And also when they call you with some heat. Car broke down. Hey, look, I don't like the contract that I'm in. Hey, look, the service that I'm being provided isn't the best. You got to make sure you're disciplined to handle those situations, because the second you decline a customer's call, they'll know that forever, and they'll always lose rapport and trust with you and your organization. So knows how and when to follow up, right? You don't want to be that guy that's calling the guy every 3 days saying, hey, John, how you doing? You got to make sure that you're following up with value or entertainment, that you're consistently doing the best follow-up practices, and don't worry, I got a video on that. But if you guys have a question within each stage of this and you want to know, hey, look, where am I at? Where can I improve? Shoot me a text, 405-746-0077. I'll help you out with some strategies when it comes to getting better at this. But also, last one with nurture is that he's easy to talk to. Look, when you're calling someone, interrupting their day, and giving them some value or offering some entertainment about your product, you don't want to be a brick wall. Why the fuck would you have called the person in the first place if you're going to be a brick wall? You got to be easy to talk to and easy to have an ongoing relationship with. So as we take a 3-step and a bird's eye view at this and we realize, hey, look, what do I need to improve at? Now that I know the 3 areas of focus, now I know the 3 different types of salespeople, Gian, what do you recommend? What's important? What's most important throughout this process? So taking a step back, looking at it, it's kind of a toss-up between prospector or salesman. Because actually, salesman and closer is the most important part, because if you're not generating business to your organization, if you're not closing deals, you're not getting paid. So you want to make sure that the most important one is going to be the salesman or closer, but the hardest one to do is going to be the prospector, because you got to be charismatic, and that doesn't come to a lot of people, but with enough time and enough repetition, you can make it in a way that it's consistently, you're charismatic and you're a person that people want to be around. But you got to build a brand, use social media, great with people. So while salesman and closer is the most important one, prospector is a huge one. As to the hardest one to cultivate. Nurture, real simple. You just got to be easy to talk to. You don't call them like a brick wall. You got to know when to follow up, how to follow up, know the best systems and tactics when following up. So homework for you, right? You want to get better. I don't want you to watch a video and then go play World of Warcraft or whatever you do. Go do your own thing. I want you to watch a video and implement it within your game so you can get better. Okay, so my question is, where are you? I want you to grab all these 3, okay, prospector, salesman, closer. I want you to get a notebook like my handy dandy notebook right here, and I want you to put at the top of the page, prospector, salesman, nurture, okay? I want you to put 1 through 10, where do you stand within that, and what do you want to work on to improve your game? There's a lot of great closers that are making $100 grand, but when they figure out how to prospect, they figure out how to nurture, they go up to $1 million, $500,000. There's a lot of good nurturers, but once they learn how to close, it's game over. There's a lot of good prospectors, but once they learn how to close those deals and nurture them, that's how you build that $1 million skill set. So what can you do to get better? What can you do to improve? And I have a couple key fundamental things here for whatever stage you're in to get better. If you're a finder, you got to learn how to network, and you got to learn how to generate leads, and you got to become charismatic, okay? So watch YouTube videos, educate yourself, ask people, what can you do to network? What can you do to generate leads? And what can you do to become more charismatic in your field? Closer, okay? Closer. Create scripts for the openings of the sale and create scripts for the closings of the sale. Real simple. Create scripts for the sales process, create scripts for handling objections, or create scripts for closing deals and transitioning, okay? Create scripts for opening and closing. Andy Elliott on YouTube has a lot of content about those exact things and scripts for each part of the sale. And then as a developer, you just want to have a CRM and you want to create systems and processes to nurture customers. Okay, know when to follow up, how to follow up, search up best practices, learn word tracks to generate new business. And again, if you have any questions about anything that I went over, feel free to text me 405-746-0077. But also, if you want me to make a specific video about each one of these types, make sure to drop a comment down below. Let me know what you need so I can start giving more content like this to you guys, so you can start getting paid more money when you're taking out time. When you know what they say, when you step out of work, you trade your time for money. So let's make sure that we're trading our time for 3 times as much money, 10 times as much money. And I learned that from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Andy Elliott, which really just taught me all these concepts and are giving me a better understanding of these 3 critical areas within salespeople. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you need absolutely anything, make sure to text me 405-746-0077. If you want a video specifically going over any one of these areas for selling, make sure to text me. I'll be more than happy to help you and go over anything that you need. And I'll see you guys on the next video. If you enjoyed this type of content, make sure to subscribe, drop a like so the YouTube gods and algorithms can feed you more content like this and you continue to improve time after time. With that being said, see you guys in the next video. See you at the top.